You know the Vin Diesel meme from Fast and Furious? You know, we got family. I feel like you could do that with Superman and Lois as well. We got community. Well, what's up, guys? Mason the Brock Anderson here, and this is Superman and Lois Season 4, Episode 5, Break the Cycle. It's a very, very well-written episode. Perfectly shows who Lex Luthor is, how he refuses to change, but it gives him some good backstory that I think is necessary to truly understanding his character better. And while sure, he is an unlikable douchebag, he's an interesting unlikable douchebag, and I think that's the type of character that I want to see Lex Luthor be, if I'm being perfectly honest. First of all, I will say it's kind of funny because obviously they've been calling his daughter Elizabeth all season, so seeing Elizabeth Henstridge play his daughter is very fitting. I will admit I got a little giddy because I'm a huge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, and I also really loved Fitz and Simmons, so getting to see her was just, it got me excited. But once again, the writing really comes full circle in this episode, showing a lot of these flashbacks between Lex and his ex-wife, showing how it was affecting his daughter, but yet she still chose him in the end. And his ex-wife even said at some point she was going to reach out her hand and offer him her love, and he would reject it. And so sure enough, it gets to that point where she basically tells him to stand down, back off of Lois Lane, if he wants to be in her life, and he can't. It's just part of who he is. He can't accept the fact that Lois took those 17 years away from him. He has to punish her for it. So I think they did a really good job of writing for this episode for the two of them. We also get some great writing for Doomsday as well. We finally do reference the fact that he is Bizarro Superman. Was it Laylock? I think is his name. What's interesting is they never really referenced the fact that they knew it was him. I assume they did because he does still have the reverse S on his chest. It's like all fleshy now though. But they didn't really talk about the fact that it's still him. But because she recognized that he recognized her, using that to her advantage and trying to convince him to leave her and her family alone, I think it's really brilliant. Now, granted, it's only 5 episodes into a 10-episode season, so I don't know if this is going to stick. I don't know if Lex is going to find him again and manage to convince him to go after Superman one more time, or torture him into doing so. But at least to remove that threat for now so that Superman is not in danger of dying again right away. I think it's a really good move, and it's one that whenever she first called him, all I could think was, what is she doing? What is she trying to accomplish? But when she started talking about him living on another world, the fact that he recognized her, it's when it all sort of clicked, and it showed once again, this show is not just a Superman show. It shows Superman and Lois both being effective in going after the bad guys, because she can do her part too, even if she doesn't have the powers. The final thing in this episode is probably the least interesting. We see Candace comes back. She and Jonathan are seemingly growing apart. He's not able to be completely truthful with her, but then Jordan tells her everything, so now she's okay with it. I don't really know how I feel about that. You know, this is a big secret that they don't really want people to know, and yet here we are just telling Candace about it because she's a little mad at Jordan. I mean, I know they showed that one girl, I think Denise is her name. They showed that she found out because she saw everything that happened, just like the other guy saw. But it's still not something that they've agreed to tell everybody else about because it's still a secret they want to keep. And yes, Lex Luthor knows, so it's not like they're trying to keep it because they're trying to keep them safe from the bad guy. But like I said earlier this season, this idea of just telling everybody who they are, there is the possibility outside of the bad guys knowing who they are and having a better chance of getting to them. There's also the possibility of that going to their head, basically living the celebrity life that could really affect Jonathan and Jordan very poorly. Having the humility as a hero, I think, is something that is important, and it's something that Clark has shown through his whole life. So I still don't really know where they're going to go with it. I still don't really know what the end game is, whether they're going to just tell the world who they are or not. But personally, I'm still really hoping they don't go that way, just because, as I've said multiple times, I don't think it would be best for Jonathan and Jordan or for the family. But anyways, with all that being said, we move on to the next episode, so I'll see you guys there in just a second. And now episode 6, When the Lights Come On. Another really good episode. It's been getting better and better as the season has gone on. And really, there are so many good moments in this episode. First of all, I want to talk about Jonathan and Jordan because this is where the show can be very hit or miss for me as far as whether I enjoy something. I never think it's been done bad in these first 4 seasons. Like, the writing always has made sense for them. It's just I'm not a big fan of teen drama, high school drama, all of that. So it's more so I just get frustrated watching kids be kids. But I think in this one, another great moment of maturity from both of them, because when Jordan goes in to talk to Jonathan and tells him that maybe he should slow down, I was fully expecting Jonathan to just go off on him like, oh, yeah, this coming from the guy who couldn't slow down himself. But really, he doesn't say much like that. Yeah, he does get a little upset that he's like, okay, everybody's just telling me to stop even though I'm helping all these people. And you can understand why he feels that way, but it doesn't turn into this big argument. In fact, he turns it around and says, I wouldn't have to do so much if you were helping me, which is a very mature way to look at it, because it's not that he wants to do all this on his own. He'd prefer if Jordan was out there helping him. So I thought that was a very nice decision from the writers to have Jonathan react in this way, because it makes him look much more mature in this moment. And then, of course, at the end of the episode, he does see what happens whenever he goes too hard, and now he's not 100%, doesn't hear Lana scream. Save for Jordan, we see he realizes trying to shut everything out and just pretend like none of this is happening and he doesn't have to do anything as a hero, this is what it leads to. I gotta say, I really do like the fact that they kept that very subtle. Because in some of the other shows, he would have this long monologue about, yeah, that's why I was up in my room playing video games and keeping the headphones on all day. I just wanted to shut the world out. But now I realize that that's not the way to go about it, because this is what could happen. It wasn't all of that. It was just one or two simple lines. And that's all we needed to know. And then we could piece it together. We don't have to sit here and go, oh, that's why I was doing it, because, yeah, I was trying to shut the world out. It's this type of writing that I think treats the audience with much more respect, because they give us that line and let us piece it together instead of having the characters all spell it out for us, which gets really frustrating. But there are also a lot of great moments just with Luther in this episode. We see Amanda getting a little frustrated with him, Lois kind of turning her a little bit, but in the end she still is too loyal to Luther to turn her back on him, even if she does feel betrayed by him. I don't know exactly what his plan was, but we do see the plan sort of goes up in smoke a little bit, because the town does stand up to him. I think that moment in the bar is just such a great moment to have 80 not just stand up to him, but also everybody else in the bar take that moment to go, this is a lot of money for us, this would be great for us, but we're not going to do that because we know there's something else going on here. And yeah, some of that is down to the fact that a lot of them do seem to know Clark is Superman. And I will say, while I'm not a fan of the idea that they just tell everybody Clark's secret, if everybody figures it out, that's something that I think works a bit better. Because then it's not their fault that everybody figured it out, it's just people were smart and they pieced it together based on what happened after he died. But I do hope in all of this they focus on maybe the Kents trying to tell everybody to keep it a secret, talking about why this is not something they want to get out. Because again, I think there are a lot of reasons why this should not just be a known thing by everybody. Also, we do see Clark coming to terms with the fact that maybe he is starting to lose his abilities a bit. He does seem to be aging, which is not something that was happening before. And who knows, maybe this show will end with him realizing he's becoming a lot more human. It'll be on Jonathan and Jordan to sort of take up the reins now that he's stepping down. If that's how it comes to an end, I guess I'll be fine with it. I just still will have a problem with the fact that they destroyed his heart by stepping on it. That should not be possible. But the final thing to talk about is that confrontation with Luther. He and Clark duking it out under the red lights. I think, first of all, it shows just how much Luther has gotten to him this season. He finally just had that moment of humanity seep in and just went to town, just beating the crap out of him. I think it was a very good moment to show his vulnerability, but also to show the maturity of him and Lois, realizing that's exactly what Luther wanted. You know, Jonathan and Jordan, of course, are all excited, like, yeah, you showed him all that. But of course, Clark and Lois realize that he wants Clark to show that side of him. He wants Clark to be this monster that he's built up in his head. So I thought it was a very well done scene and just absolutely brought that point home. And of course, now with Luther out of Smallville and back in Metropolis, I don't know where it's going to go from here. Obviously, Doomsday is still out there somewhere, so I still don't know where his story is going to go. But it sets up really well for the end of this season and has a lot of interesting stories involved that I'm excited to see how it all comes to a close. But yeah, that'll do it for these 2 episodes. So with all that being said, cue the outro. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that review. I hope you enjoyed it. First and foremost, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I love having discussions with people, so whatever your thoughts were, whether you agree or disagree with me, please leave them down below. Obviously, no spoilers. Also, if you did find yourself enjoying this review and you want to see more, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I also have a gaming channel as well as a channel where I talk about soccer, so if you want to give those a follow as well, that would be much appreciated. And lastly, if you want to help me improve upon the quality of these channels, I do have a Patreon. All of this is in the description below. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.